happens after you've been an expert in, oh, I don't know, 150 cases you've assisted on, 200 you've worked on yourself as a crash investigator reconstructionist? Well, Joe Paul, for him, it means he's on the stand testifying now in the Karen Reed case for the prosecution. We should be right to the point in his testimony where he talks about, in this particular case, what happened when a vehicle struck the decedent in this case, if it did. Let's go back in.
If I could, turn your attention to January 29th, 2022. Do you recall that date?
I do.
And at some point over the course of that date, were you contacted by somebody in regard to a pedestrian collision that occurred, in the town of Canton?
I was.
And do you recall who was it that first reached out, or how did you first become aware of this?
My sergeant, Sergeant Brian Mahoney, was the one who called me at the time.
And initially, as far as your involvement was concerned, what was your understanding as the initial request for your involvement in this?
My initial request was to image the airbag control module, do a little inspection, test the vehicle, and map the scene out.
Now, you've used that term a couple of times, and if I could just ask you to explain it a bit for the jury. When you say an airbag control module or an ACM, what is that, and what do you understand that term to mean in the context of crash reconstruction?
The ACM is the module in a car that controls the airbags and the seatbelt pretensioners.
And what you were referencing before as far as being a CDR, having taken CDR trainings and being a CDR instructor, what, if any, relationship does the CDR have to ACM?
CDR is just the crash data retrieval software. It's the software that we use to image or download an airbag control module.
And can you explain to the jury sort of the process of physically sort of how that's done, as far as what are you doing to the vehicle in order to download that information?
Yes. There are two ways really to download a vehicle. It's either one is direct to module or just direct to the vehicle through the DLC port or the diagnostic link connector. Direct to module, we don't use the direct to module if a vehicle had no power. Then we would have to go directly find the module inside the vehicle and go right to that specific module. But if the car has power, we would go direct to the DLC port, which is the same port that you see when you're like a technician would do the diagnostics on a car. They would plug underneath the steering wheel, and then we'll get there, extract the information from there.
Now, once that information is extracted, what, if any, training have you received in regards to reading or interpreting the data that's extracted from?
Yes, I've been certified through as a CDR analyst, and I've taken 2 classes on it now.
Now, sir, turning your attention to February 1st, 2022. On that date, where, if anywhere, did you go in relation to your investigation in this case?
I went to the Canton Police Department.
Now, at some point prior to that, were you made aware, or did you do any research into sort of what the weather was like around the time? What was reported to you initially as around the time of that?
Okay, Sonny, I feel like, we're getting there. We're about ready to learn something about what is effectively, I think, a vehicle versus pedestrian accident. So, is he going to be able to tell us, based on your experience, what that means, how it looks? Does it, can you break a light with a body impact, which I suggest you can't? What do you think?
I think he will be able to give us more of the information related to what the prosecution is saying happened in this particular case. And I'm not sure whether a body can break the tail light, but I don't know. I'm not the expert, and currently he is. So let's see what happens. I really want to get to the defense case, but I think he is a good witness. He doesn't have any grease in this game around the conspiracy issue. He's just going to tell what he knows.
Yeah, that's true. He is really more a fact-based witness, even though an expert. He's not involved in the mess that we have been following here. As the McAlberts turn. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Hey, I've got to thank and excuse you, Sonny Slaughter. We'll see you next time here on the Long Crime Network. Appreciate your help. Have a great weekend.
It was good.
Okay. We'll see you next time. And we're going to come back. Katherine Lizardo is still here, and a special guest will be here in the studio with me. It's a special.